Would you like to take price out of the equation when it comes to people buying your products and services? As a business owner, your price is the most important metric when it comes to people making a purchase decision, right? But if you get the tools and the strategies right to create this offering where people are influenced, people are magnetically attracted to buy your products and services, would that make a difference in your life? If that is so, check out the video where I help you figure out how you can actually take price out of the equation when it comes to businesses. Hi, this is Rishabh, a branding expert or a best-selling author and a person who's worked for the last 15 years with multiple brands and helped businesses turn into million-dollar businesses with the help of branding. And today we're going to cover a very important aspect which is related to pricing. But before that, let me tell you what entrepreneur Dan Pallotta said in a Harvard Business Review article. He said that brand is everything and everything is a brand. When it comes to your life, when it comes to your business, and when it comes to anything that you buy, that you try, or that you're living, everything comes to the power of a brand. So when it comes to a price value equation in front of your consumer's head, and when you're trying to pitch a product, the first thing that the person will look at is whether the price is in relation to the service that he's getting. Is it worth of value? Is it something that he really thinks is worth the kind of money that you're offering? Now, how can you take price out of the objection list? Before I tell you how to take price out of the equation, let me tell you a lesson in economics which will help you get the context of why am I saying this. In older times, there used to be a seller's market. A seller's market meaning that the demand exceeded the supply. There were very few people supplying a product and there were so many buyers wanting to buy, be it rice, be it vegetables, be it cars. If I remember the Ford slogan at that point in time where they said if you want a car, it has to be black. So they used to sell a standard unit which used to be a black car to everybody and they used to not differentiate. Today's world is a buyer's market, and a buyer's market which is at a three-dimensional level. The first dimension is the dimension of platform, the second dimension is the dimension of price, and the third dimension is the dimension of recall. Now, why do I say it's three-dimensional? Today's buyer has a lot of choice. He has a plethora of choice. He has so many offerings in the same realm, he can't decide. But why still brands like Apple, brands like Harley-Davidson, brands like McDonald's still stand out in the consideration set? It's because they've created a unique positioning in the people's head. When it comes to a price value equation, what you need to understand is people rarely buy basis the price that you command. They always buy basis the value that they seek out of the product. So when you're creating products and services as an entrepreneur, if you're creating value in the products that you create, you're going to be able to take the price equation out of context. Now, how do you create value? The first thing you need to do when you create value is identify whether your product uniquely solves a problem. Now, there are a lot of products that solve problems in consumers' head. For example, if you want to just look at the example of a smartphone, there is an Apple, there is a Samsung, there is Vivo, Oppo, and there are so many of these smartphones which have very identical functions. But what does Apple do? Apple is a brand which doesn't talk about a lot of its features. It talks about the emotion that you get when you apply those features, like the beautiful moment that you get when you capture an image on the camera, or the happiness that you get when you listen to the music on the phone, or when you actually breeze through the functions of a phone. How do you feel happy because you've done a task which was so complex in a way which was very simple? So what it does uniquely is figure out the emotion that the people have when they use the product versus any other product that you see, be a Samsung phone or an Oppo phone or an MI phone. They will talk about the features with the 17 megapixel, 20 megapixel, 30 megapixel camera, front camera, back camera, 4 GB RAM, Snapdragon processor. All these things are immaterial to the consumer. What the consumer is thinking is, what is that joy that I'm going to get when I acquire the product? Is it that lovely moment that I'm going to capture when I click the picture on my camera when my daughter gets married? Or is it that amazing productivity tool that I can use on the smartphone, and because of its processor, it will help me solve it? So when you create true value and you're able to create true value which is differentiated from your competition, you are able to take price out of the equation. The second thing that takes the price out of the equation is the consumer recalls it. Like I said, he has a plethora of things. So when you stand out for something consistently over a period of time, you've built a brand which stands consistently over a period of time. When it comes to making a purchase decision, the things that come to your mind first are the things that you'll first search for. For example, if you are looking to buy, let's take an example of buying a hand wash. Basic example, if you want to buy a hand wash, what is that first brand that will come to your head? The first brand that comes to my head is Dettol. Maybe the second brand is Lifebuoy. So what I will do is, I will go and search for a Dettol hand wash on say an Amazon, or I will go to my shop and think about Dettol when I see a Dettol. Now how do you break that pattern in a consumer's head? You create consistent messaging by building an iconic brand. The consistent messaging should stand for only one thing in his head. When it comes to clean hands, it's Dettol. When it comes to great smartphones, it's Apple. When it comes to great technology, it's a MacBook. When it comes to family time, eating burgers, it's McDonald's. That is that one thing that resonates in the consumer's head when it comes to buying your products and services. And if you take out the clutter, and if you take out everything and have absolute clarity in what that consumer wants from you, you're going to solve that problem of choice for him. You're going to be the first brand in the consideration set. The third thing is how high the value is in terms of your value consideration set. So there is a thing called customer value proposition. In marketing, we look at that at very high levels. So the higher the value you give, the higher the price that you can command. Now, how is that value defined? Today, if I were to buy a car, a basic Maruti car or a basic Tata car would also serve the purpose of taking me from point A to point B, and a Rolls Royce would also help me from taking me to a point from a point A to point B. But the value proposition is completely different, and the value proposition stems from the fact that the experience that you get in sitting on a Rolls Royce versus the experience that you get in sitting in a Maruti. Similar, if you actually go from an Indigo Airlines or go from an Emirates Airlines, the kind of experience that you will get in an Indigo versus an Emirates, the Emirates will be able to command higher price. So when you actually move up the price value proposition and create that true value in the customer's head or a consumer's head, that is when you're able to take price out of the equation. So people are looking to buy, but they are not looking to be sold. So if you are not looking to sell to people basis your features, basis your attributes, basis your pricing, that is when you create true iconic brand in front of their head, which becomes the number one consideration set. So I hope these tips have helped. I'll keep bringing all these tips for you. This is Rishabh, your branding expert, the best-selling author, and a person who's excited about building your brand, signing off.